Right.
Now we're live.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So, that was the fastest setup I've done so far. Welcome back to NGA, No Glitches Allowed Marathon, where we run glitchless categories. Currently got Tomb Raider 2, run by Makel. And his commentator is also here, Midge. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Midge.
Hey, I'm Makhil. So today is gonna be Tomb Raider 2 80% glitchless. So just gonna wait a few seconds to be sure that everything is fine. And I will say when the timer starts. So let's go. Timer starts now. Oops,
luck, mate.
well, first stumble. Thank you. So, Tomb Raider 2 glitchless game came out in 1997. That's it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. I always confuse the dates. And yeah, this game is pretty much RNG, hugely RNG, if you want to go for the highest time, but for this we're gonna have a safe route, which is mainly taking meds, which will be the only difference in the run, because the rest of the trick are pretty okay, not too bad. So yeah, first level is Great Wall. This is the level every runners hate, because it's actually pretty difficult first level, really technical one. And I'm bad at it, compared to Midge, which is here.
Nah, me.
Oh man, you're so good at Great Wall, it's just... You're basically 4 seconds faster than me in Great Wall, is just ridiculous.
Oh no. 4 seconds. It's like, what, an hour and 30 plus wrong?
The first level, those 4 seconds feels like error.
I guess that's true.
Because you do it over and over.
Maybe that's the problem. I just am doing that level over and over. That's the whole game.
So, what I wanted to say, I don't remember. Yeah, so this we're gonna save a lot in this game, because the game itself doesn't have checkpoints, so we have to save manually. Or if we die, we're gonna have to restart the whole game, so that's not too cool. So that's why this is really hard to do a marathon, because you need to plan your saves. But it should be alright.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's worth mentioning the story, because Tomb Raider plot is not really the best thing ever, but...
You know what? That's half of what I talked about when I was commentating to these GDQ runs. I just kept talking about the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just there. She's like doing all these cool tricks. I'm like, yeah, so this is Marco Bartoli's dad, and people are like, what are you talking about?
Well, you have more time to do it in the glitchless, but yeah. In glitchless
true.
it makes sense, because some levels are really long, so... Well, you can ask the plot, and I guess you did your research for a GDQ, so...
Well, the current plot of the game is, well, he's almost out of it now, but we're in China, and we're trying to check out this place called the Temple of Qian. Hopefully I said that correctly. Probably not. Yeah. But we're there trying to find this temple. And we're soon to find out that there's a big old door on it, and we need to go and get this, like, dagger to get in and all this stuff. So anyway, we're going to be on a guy named Marco Bartoli's trail. So that's going to be the next few levels, is trying to find out where he is and get his stuff if we can.
So we gotta shoot that dog, because dogs in these games are just a huge pain. And for people not really familiar with Tomb Raider speedrunning, as you can see, I'm jumping a lot, because this is the fastest way of moving in Tomb Raider 2. Basically, you save 1 second every jump, roughly. So that is a huge time save in a 1 hour 40 run. And you're gonna have a first tricky jump of a run. It's not too bad, but if you miss it, it's you have to redo the start of a level, basically. So. So here we're
Yay.
on Venice, so we're gonna have to use a boat. In theory you should use 2 boats, but we're just gonna need one, because we can just completely trigger the level. Also, you will see me turning and pulling my guns a lot in this run, because it does a couple of things. First, when you have guns equipped, you turn faster. And you also want to check your health on your bullets, so you have to have your guns out for this. And also because it cancels some false camera when you pull a lever, for example. There is false camera showing you where is the door you opened, and yeah, you want to avoid that because those false camera are just a pain. So yeah, we pretty much finished with the first area on the level, and we're just gonna have to have a boat trip, and it's good. So you will see the level is pretty much broken even in Glitchless because of a simple trigger that the dev didn't think about, or yeah, I guess they overshoot that, or
Yeah, it's kind of funny because for the longest time we didn't know the extent to which this trigger was messed up. Like we had been actually going. You'll see there's a lever in the room. We actually went all the way to the back and pulled that lever, but it turns out you don't even have to do that. So I don't know how they managed that one, but we didn't find out until like 20 years after the game released.
yeah, you will just see me do something that seems completely useless, like this. Just jumping in the water and going back, but it's actually important because it triggers the door, the final door. So the button in the back is just a cinematic button, it doesn't activate the door. It's just, that's weird game design. Don't know why they did that. And yeah, going under the door just doesn't trigger the timer, which would mean that you will have to do the whole level.
Yeah, a lot of things in Tomb Raider, they don't quite make sense. We just call it Tom Project, Tom being short for Tomb Raider. Or some people say Tomb, which, I don't know. I always say Tom, but it doesn't really matter either way. So, this is Bartoli's Hideout, the name of this level.
Because this is the name of a bad guy.
There's some pretty cool, within the last couple of years, I guess just talking generally about the glitchless run, there's been a lot of optimizations and whatnot.
Yep.
Largely in part from Makeil, a little bit myself, but mostly...
You found the technical jumps and I found the RNG stuff.
So yeah, this run actually got like a lot, I guess like more difficult but also more fun in ways. Over the last couple of years it's been really cool to see.
So yeah, I kinda gotta kill those guys here because they will destroy me when I climb the ladder if I don't. You can make them kinda glitch and run around the room shooting nothing, but still haven't found a way to do that consistently. And yeah, here you're supposed to push a block, do some things, but pretty obvious things. We're just gonna climb the ladder, which is faster than doing the block pushing and etc.
I apologize if I'm a little slow to talk here. It's just 6 AM where I am, so I got up bright and early to see and help with this run. I apologize though if I'm a little quiet.
So yeah, here we got a shimmy. There was a movement that we could do before, but we basically said that now it's a glitch because you do a fence bug to do that. Because you kind of go through the fence.
It's not too much of a time difference, like, in the course of the whole run. It's only a few seconds, but it was a bit mind-blowing. when we first changed the rule, because I had been doing it with the, now glitch for so long. I was like, no. So one thing to note in general about this run is that, I think more so with glitchless than with the glitched run, excuse me, is that the pickups and meds are generally, as in the ammo pickups and the medical kits and stuff, are really optimized, like how many you grab through each level. As Makio mentioned earlier, that he'll be picking up some extra stuff for safety, but it's pretty impressive to see how the routing has slimmed down on the pickups a lot.
In this level we'll be killing a lot of guys because this level is full of guys you can't really avoid. And those gun guys actually does a lot of damage. So first really tricky jump of this game, which is the first reset part of this run in general.
Yeah, the ravioli jump is what we call it. Definitely not just because this is a level in Italy.
No. We are better than that.
Oh, nice. First try.
Yeah, nice. I love that jump. This jump is actually way harder than I made it look. It's just you really need a lot of practice to make it YOLO like this.
For sure.
Some people can't even do it with a setup, so...
I appreciate that we have the French text and everything on the screen in the game. It's good. It's a nice touch. So normally at this part you'd have to use that detonator box you may have seen earlier, and you'd have to blow up this part of the wall, and so you have to get a key for the detonator box and yada yada, but we speedrunners have a way better way, which is just to climb the darn wall.
So the thing with this trick is just you want to press the action button to climb. If you just press the jump button, she won't be high enough, so that's pretty much it. So I don't know what the days were thinking. They just tried with jump, they were like, okay, it's cool, and
yeah, I don't know how that made it through production or testing, I guess, but we'll take it. We don't. It's Tom logic.
Yeah. So now we are at the opera, which is the worst opera in the world, probably. What are we doing in Opera Baron?
Why are we here? I think we're just still on Bartoli's trail in general. We're trying to find him.
There is no logic. Yeah, because there's no cinematic between the two levels.
I guess supposedly this is his private opera, question mark? Like he just casually has a opera house hidden away in Venice.
Well, he's really kind of mafia guy, so why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Also, I think his father was a big guy, so maybe bought it before, and that's why it's ruined.
Yeah.
I don't know. Trying to find sense in Tomb Raider, that's not really the best thing. So here we do basically this area almost intended. But we're gonna skip the whole level, because if you remember your childhood playing that game, this level is a nightmare and super long. But we're just gonna skip it with one jump.
I second that. This level is an absolute nightmare. I played it as a kid a few times and it was awful.
It's the first level you really have trouble doing. It's really confusing.
Yeah, this is a level which is not obviously linear if you don't already know what to do, so you're going back and forth all the time basically. So yeah, quite a long level, but we'll deal with that.
So here we skip the first part of this level by doing this small drop here, which is totally not intended. So this is the first skip of this level, and then we're gonna have another jump, which is a bit more impressive, but it's actually pretty easy, except in one version, which they tried to fix, but it's not enough. They added an extra block to avoid doing this jump here. Up. But you can still do it even with a block, it's just way harder.
Yeah, I guess that brings up an interesting point that, like, because this game was made before the digital distribution era, they just kind of did patches and versions of the game, just released entirely different CDs of the game, like all these different versions. So that's not really something to get into too much detail in a marathon, but just know that there are differently behaving versions of this game out there.
Ooh, that was close. That is pretty close. Oh, it killed me. Unlucky. Because I don't have small man here. So please don't do that again. Okay, that's good. I don't have small and I didn't want to use a large even though I'm really easy on med, but...
Yeah. So the plot transition here, which we didn't see, was that Marco, I believe, left... Or he was in like this plane is what it was. Lara gets knocked out by a henchman. They strip her of the guns, but they leave her ammo and flares in her inventory, which is very nice for us. But we do need to get the guns back, so that's kind of the first objective of this level, is to get the unlimited ammo pistols back.
Also, they leave you in a room where you can, with a button, you can get out.
Yeah, they really, really good high security compound they have here.
So this is not the intended way, we're just doing a shortcut. The guy just shoot the door and you can just go for it. But you're supposed to push button around the plane or something like that to open this trapdoor. A trapdoor in the plane, something. Yeah,
there's actually a trapdoor underneath the plane, but we don't ever see it because, yeah, we just go this way. And what's funny actually is, although you said unintended, there are actually strategy guides that will tell you to do that. It's pretty funny.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, so maybe I got it. Yeah, okay. So if you kill those guys at the same spot, you can get 2 pickups with 1 pickup animation, which saves time. Got it here, so pretty quickly, so it's cool. So it's just a small optimization we can do.
Although, of course, the thing is about it is a pickup takes about 2-ish seconds, so if you take longer than that to set up the double pickup...
Regenerate happens when you start.
I see chat's having a fun time after I said they strip Lara of her weapons, take it in a different direction.
Yeah, totally see what. Okay, so here we're going to do
watch my leg.
So this is not a glitch, this is just RNG being done here. You can just stand here and shoot them. We don't generally do that in a run, but this is marathon, so just taking the meds for safety.
It's fun to watch these guys anyway, our triplet hunks here.
We get our autos, which are a really useful gun in this game. It's basically 2 times more powerful than pistols.
Yep. You may have seen, I don't know if it was on screen there for a second, there's also the harpoon gun in this room that we just came out of, but we don't ever use that, so we just don't bother to grab it.
Yeah. It's pretty much use less ammo gun, except for 100%.
Mm-hmm. 100% runs of this game are just mad, like crazy. It's like 4+ hours sometimes, depending on the category and stuff. It's crazy.
So here I'm gonna do the flare thing because it's easier. You can do this jump without a flare, but yeah, it's pretty tricky.
You know what's funny is Mickey and I have like jumps that we're better at than the other person is, and I swear that jump for me is like no problem, but the ravioli jump he did earlier first try is just like a nightmare for me. I don't understand. We like trade back that throughout the game.
Yeah, that's funny. Also, we didn't mention that yet, but we use flare to cancel stumbles animation, which saves 2 seconds basically. So basically you just throw a flare when you fall from a high fall, and you're supposed to stumble, but if you use the flare you can just still go and don't stumble, so that's good. And the flare pack is 6 flares, so you save 6 seconds with 1 pickup, which is okay.
I guess 12 seconds since it's 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Auto math. I did math study, by the way, so that's totally great for me.
Very useful teachers and professors.
So here we have enemies going to the block that should be considered as a glitch, but as we are not glitching, it's fine. And it's also not helping us because then can just damage you after that, so we are okay with that because it's not really our resource to do it. So.
Yeah, it's sort of that is sort of a gray area for some people. They would still see it as a glitchy thing, but basically just since we're not imposing that onto them, they're just doing it on their own. It's fine, yeah, as he said.
And then we're gonna have this jump. So this jump is, you need a perfect position, and you also need to grab at the very last frame. I'm gonna try one time to YOLO it to see.
Ooh.
Got it, easy. So no, it's not easy actually. You need to grab at literally the last frame you can grab, because if you don't know about Tomb Raider speedrun stuff, the later you grab, the further you go. So for this one you need to grab at the very last frame, so this is frame perfect, and if I didn't get that one we would have a setup for it, so it's fine.
Yeah, don't mind that we just went into a vertical water block, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry about it, it's fine.
It's not intended, but it's not a glitch. It's how the games works. There are several rooms, and this room is always full of water, but because we didn't do the game intended way, there is no water, so that's why there is a wall here. But yeah, we don't do anything tricky, it's just we didn't trigger something, that's it.
Yeah. So, this level, as we know it, is called Dying Area, but the actual level name is Diving Area. Our favorite ladder. Welcome,
Yeah.
If you guys ever played Metal Gear Solid, you might recognize a ladder like this.
So I hope you have some things to say during that climbing, because that takes 1 minute. So
Well, if only, like...
What about the plot, baby?
I was gonna say maybe if one of us, like, if we were brave enough, just karaoke the song Snake Eater, but I think we should spare the audience of that.
Yeah.
I think that would be very bad.
You don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure, I believe Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater came out after Tomb Raider 2. I'm fairly certain that Metal Gear Solid was parodying this ladder. Like, they were straight up making fun of the Tomb Raider ladder when they did their thing. I'm pretty convinced of that. I can't confirm it because I'm not Hideo Kojima, but... or however you say his name. Sorry again for butchering another name, but I'm fairly certain that they were just making fun of this ladder in Tomb Raider 2. But they took it to an even more extreme level.
Also, what's even cooler about that ladder is that you climb it 2 times.
It's about a total of 1.5 minutes spent climbing that ladder. A little less, but oh, that was pretty cool. I like the little dive into there. Yeah, okay, it was a PS2 game. Okay, then yeah, I was right about the timeline.
So you can make this jump, but I felt it. I used to be really good at this jump, but lately I am not anymore.
Watched up, man.
Yeah, exactly. So let's climb it again. So this time we have half of a ladder or something, so it's a bit faster. I'm gonna save immediately after it because I don't want to climb it again. So yeah, diving area is chill level because ladders and stuff. There is not too much to do, and the early game is pretty crazy when you do a run, so it's pretty cool level in my opinion because you can rest for a bit.
That is true. This is like the only major resting point during the run, yeah.
Mario Doria as well. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going pretty okay for now. No major mistakes. I'm gonna save here because flamethrowers. So there are flamethrowers in this game, and if you get on fire, it's pretty much rip.
Yeah, they're not very nice. I never noticed how long it was until now. Sorry, X.
So we're not doing this level in Tandon way, but this is pretty close to it.
You know, I haven't played through this level, I guess, properly in a while, so I almost forgot what you were supposed to do. But yeah, actually, we are skipping one major section of it, I guess.
It's basically intended way until you do the curve jump you're gonna see later. And then you just skip the rest of the level. Okay, this level is just pure optimization of movements.
Yeah, there's a lot of travel time in this level. There's not really big shortcuts until the very end of the level, I guess, but yeah. It's this is one of those like deceptively hard to optimize levels, yeah, because it's all just movement.
And generally, even if you don't miss anything, you don't get stumbles or whatever, you still can have 10-15 seconds different with someone having better movements. It's pretty important to optimize movements. Because movements in Glitchless is just really, really important for that game.
This might sound like I'm being cliche or whatever, but honestly the glitches really help to make this game a bit easier because you skip so much of the levels.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, I always tell people that like Glitchless is actually harder in ways because there's just a lot more to do and a lot more to optimize, but of course the glitches themselves are tricky and technical, so it's not as black and white as this is harder, but anyway.
It's easier in the way that with glitches you have a lot of setups, so they are okay-ish to do, but for Glitchless you basically YOLO everything.
That is true, yeah. Yeah, actually I hadn't thought about it like that.
So, should I use med right now? Should be okay. I hope.
Oh yeah, that area we just left is where you saw the helicopter leave. That is actually, we're supposed to revisit this area after we've, I think it's lowered the helipad, but we're gonna skip that section of the level entirely, as we were mentioning before. That is one nice thing about the Glitchless run, actually, is people who have played this game in the past can recognize a lot more of the levels, because a lot more of it's played compared to the glitched run. So.
Yeah, glitch now, it's pretty much skip the level, except one or two. Yeah, frog guys can shoot me, but they don't deal too much damage, so I can avoid that. Hopefully.
Do you have names for the divers, by the way, Mikil? Like, do you give them
not
names?
Really, no.
No? You have Scuba Steve, Diver Dan, nothing like that?
No, not really.
Okay.
So this girl just to skip the rest of the level. This jump is not too easy, but we have a pretty strong setup for it. which is really fast.
Blood or answers.
Our favorite dialogue.
You should spill a bit of them both.
Okay, Marco.
So I guess this is plot time.
What do you want?
So maybe you want to go ahead because
Tell me.
don't want to.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm slightly delayed from, so I was like not sure if the dialogue was over yet, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that guy on the floor is a monk from the Bakhang monastery. Again, hopefully I didn't butcher another name, but he knows about what's going on. His dad was trying to find, or sorry, not his dad, Marco Bartoli's dad, had an encounter with that monk in the past, and that the monks blew up his ship. But now Marco's kind of like, hey, you know, you messed up my father's work, so he's not too happy with the monk in general. So he was just interrogating him to get the location of the, what am I trying to say? The dagger and all that stuff. He's trying to figure out more how to get into the temple as well, so. Yeah, the transition we didn't see there is that there's a submarine that Marco and his gang leave on from that previous level. Lara holds the submarine down until she reaches a depth of 40 fathoms, which is the name of this level, and then we're swimming, as you see here.
Yeah, so Lara is already in the water for like 1 or 2 minutes before this level, and you have a long water section as well. So she's a pretty big girl.
She's got the big lungs, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so at this point, this game is pretty much who between Marco and Lara is gonna get the things to go to the Temple of Qian. So there is a puzzle here where you're gonna have to pull levers, open the doors, but we don't care, we have meds, so we can just skip that.
It's actually quite a confusing little timed puzzle, if you play through it normally, but...
Yeah, you have to pull a lever 2 times, I think.
Yeah.
So this level looks actually really easy, because there is swimming, there is sequences that doesn't look too hard, but this level is one of the hardest in the game, actually, because of the next parts of this level. The second part of the level is just crazy.
Yeah, for sure. The second half of this level, like, I love it, but I also dread it every time because it is so easy to mess everything up. But oh man, it looks so good if you get it all.
And everything everything is like you save 1 second, but if you miss it, you lose 5 or 10.
Yeah, it's... Oh man, it looks so good if you get it right, though. Nah, it'll look fine either way, obviously.
So that small jump I just did, it's not intended at all. I'm not supposed to drop there. So I skip pulling one lever, I think. Something.
I might have to mute my mic for just a second, there's some loud noise.
Let's try to get that. Okay, cool. Pretty smooth so far, so it's nice. Oops, well, never mind. So you need a specific spot to grab this, or she will fall down. Actually, swimming in Tomb Raider is okay. Her movement is really good, except in Tomb Raider 1 in swimming. So.
You know, it's funny because...
I missed that, sadly.
Sadly. The only thing I was just about to say was that there are actually people who are more into Tomb Raider 1, and they feel that that swimming mechanic is fantastic to play with, and that Lara swims like a manatee in these games. Which, I don't know, I kind of disagree. If you don't know, Tomb Raider 1 has really jerky water movement, like it's like hairpin turning in the water, so it looks a lot different than the later games.
So the end of this level is pretty much RNG, depending of how many meds you're gonna use. Because that guy, he
Yeah.
can just not shoot you at all or just destroy you. Here it was okay. And it's important because at this point of a run, in a normal run, for world record for example, you need to optimize your med, and you need basically to use only 2 small meds only until that part, which is just nuts.
Yeah, trying to get a top time is really difficult just because of the optimizations.
The reason we have to optimize med is because we have, well, first we don't pick up offshore rig ammo, which save 25 seconds, and we have also an RNG hell part later in the game. But
Yeah,
you will lose 4 med or something.
for sure. The meds in this run are much nicer than it would be for a standard, you know, going for PB or world record run. So yeah, this is not easy mode that we're doing right now, but it's
Pretty
a
much.
lot better. It kind of feels like easy mode if you have been grinding glitchless for a long time,
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly. When you start, you will still have trouble with meds, even with a hard, easy way. Because this game is pretty hard when you start to deal with meds. You lose ton of health on one enemy or something. So here we skip the level doing that block pushing thing. So this is not intended, obviously, because we didn't set on fire when you pull the block, but it's not a glitch, and you skip the whole level, like 80% of it at least. Because this level is really long. You need to get 3 circuit breaker or whatever their names, and
Yeah, circuit breakers, yeah.
it's just super long. You need to go in the whole ship.
Yeah, no, he's right. I was basically just gonna repeat what you said. I was like, nah, he's right.
Save at least 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, this is a very long level.
Imagine if that was a glitch.
Yeah, luckily it's just abusing hitboxes, thank goodness. But, yeah.
I would stack med and be on fire and pushing the block rather than doing the level, to be honest. Oops. Where am I going?
There's too many water levels, man. You lose your mind sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, you figure if you go down, you know, 40 fathoms of depth within a couple minutes, you're bound to lose your mind, right? Something's
True.
bound to happen up there. You're not supposed to do that.
So yeah, this level is also another break in the game before one of the hardest level in the game. Because this level is just running jumps, getting the key, and it's fine. But the next level is going to be more action. So yeah, there are sharks here. You could see one, maybe see the other one, maybe. So those sharks are actually really bad when you go around them, because one croc of shark is basically 45% health lost. Yeah, I think something like that. And they can also drain you, so you can die almost instantly with two shark crocking you. That's just if you're unlucky. Fortunately, we are not. So.
So what's your favorite level to run in this game, Akio?
A bakhang monastery, obviously.
Oh, I see. We're not there yet.
No, the longest level.
Of course. That's fair. I think my favorite level to run in the game is 40 fathoms, even though we were just talking about how it's like terribly difficult the second half. It's
Yeah, but...
so good when you get
it's
it
so
right.
good, exactly. That's it. I might sound masochist or whatever, but my second favorite level is Floating Island. So this is a bit like you. This is incredibly complicated, but so satisfying to get.
That's true. That's true.
So we're doing pretty good right now. It's not
Yeah, for
too
sure.
bad of a run. So we're finally done with Maria Doria, so we're gonna have more action coming soon. So next level is Living Quarter, and it's actually a really technical level. Very sometime, but overall it's a cool level to run because there are a lot of small things you can do. And many
Yes.
small optimization we found that are pretty dumb.
I think this is unlike we were mentioning earlier in it was diving area, that's like a really deceptively hard level to optimize. This one's it's like more obvious, I think, how you can optimize it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, all the optimizations that are still being found.
Okay, we're gonna save here because this room can be deadly. We need to jump on a certain part of the fire rate box, which is like work here. Oh, she died, okay. Got drained by the shotgun guy. I think it would have worked
Yeah.
if I didn't get drained. Yeah, that looked easy to avoid the flames, but the hitbox of flames is actually not too much forgiving if you don't aim at the right spot.
Yeah, that was really unlucky RNG with that shotgun guy, actually.
That never happens.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Oh man, I totally forgot about this whole section, how we optimize that. That is so cool.
Yeah, when you get it, it's so cool.
Normally you just climb up there, but the new age, man, we found some cool strats.
Yeah, that was funny because we were working together on a segmented run, and we were trying to find optimizations for this level, and we legit found the same thing, this little trick you see before the piston jumps. At the same time, we were like, oh, what if we could do that? Looking at our screen, and we we're like, okay, we did the same thing.
It's good stuff.
Also, next jump is a run killer. Let's see if I get it. Okay, nice, I got it. So this looks like nothing, but if I drop in the hole here, which is really easy to do, you pretty much have to redo the whole start of a level again, the fire thing and etc. Because you need to repull the first lever. And that's save half seconds, I think, so that's totally worth it.
Can I cut in for a moment?
Sure thing.
Well, to anyone new here, this is NGA, No Glitches Allowed Marathon, where we run glitchless categories for a good cause. We are currently benefiting Go Rescue, which help animals get off the street, get treatment and find new homes. If you want to support this cause, you can use !donate to find a donation page. Also, all donations can also go towards incentives. Currently got at least 2 bid wars left and 2 goals that still can be met before the run starts. So if you want to check those out, use !incentive. Thank you so much, and I enjoy seeing all the top people here. You the run.
Thanks a lot.
So this here is a jump scare when you do casual pref-through. And it's freaking scary as well because like when you're playing PlayStation 1, it just looks like it looks really scarier than on PC because everything is
sure.
dark.
No, 100%. Like almost everyone who remembers that has like this all these traumatic memories rushing back to like, oh my gosh, the eel. I forgot about that.
So this sequence is really cool if I can get it. Nice, got it. So this looks really easy, but it's actually not. Oops, well, that doesn't look easy, but it is.
Put a little style in it.
So we're gonna skip the end of this level by doing a hard jump. At least trying.
Yeah, it's a recurring theme we've had so far. There's a few levels where you could just skip, you know, a significant portion of the level by doing a really well done jump. And I'm not sure why the doves left them both in, but we're fine with it.
So this one I remember trying when I was young, actually. But never managed to get it, fortunately. And this jump to skip the first part of the deck as well. I actually remember trying it as well, but then I got it too. So this jump is actually way harder than it looks.
For sure. That jump is very, very difficult. Luckily, there's a good setup for it.
It's one of the first jumps you really need practice to do. Even with a setup. Because you need to curve at the right time.
So this is the last water level. If you're someone who really doesn't like water levels, rejoice. This is the last one. There's, I guess, if you count the rig levels, there's a total of 6 in this game, which is like a third of the game. So, yeah, I don't know. They just really love water levels.
Yeah. This one is pretty cool, pretty technical for glitchless. Also, in the first part of this level, we need to avoid getting hits. Because if you got hit, we will use an extra med because there is a drop making you lose 90% of your health. So if you get hit by something in the first part of this level, you will have to use an extra med for 10% health. That's also why this run is hard with RNG and med, because we're trying to optimize as much as we can.
Yeah, there's a fairly popular challenge run of this game called No Loads, No Meds. This is a particularly notorious level in that if you get hit by anything, it's game over because this drop that Mikhail just mentioned. Which the premise of that challenge is just you can't use meds or save and load. So if you can't use meds but you get hit by anything in this level, you're done. There's nothing else you can do. You can't make this drop, so yeah. Luckily, we're not doing that. We're just doing any percent.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. So this is this drop here.
Technically, what I said was a lie. You can take one hit, but let's ignore that.
Yeah.
Basically, if you get hit by anything, it's game over.
So we skip pretty much only the first part of this level, where you have to go down, push some blocks, and go in some waters. But beside that, it's pretty much, well, not intended, but it's pretty much the same route, I think. I haven't done that level intended for ages, so I don't know.
Yeah. This is one of those levels that is not terribly long in glitchless. It sets up pretty standard, time for this game.
Yeah.
But in glitch, the glitched version of this level is insanely fast because there's this really cool trick, but it's beyond the scope of this marathon to talk about, obviously. But I just wanted to point out how much longer and how much more of this level you see in Glitchless, even though it is still pretty short. It's pretty impressive, the different optimizations in the game.
Oh, nice. Got the IL struts.
Easy.
Saving like 0.2 seconds or whatever. Really important, you know?
I mean, we were talking about 4 in Great Wall, so surely 0.2 here is just as important.
Exactly. So this part is pretty much RNG. You can save or lose a med depending of where the shotguns are. So here we're gonna use a med, I believe.
Yeah, there's some really cool walls up here that the shotgun guys can shoot through, so it's a bit of a problem because even though you can't see them and they can't see you, they can just shoot you anyway. So, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate.
We're gonna get the grenade launcher here because we need it for the last boss. So yeah, we are basically stacking up things until the end of the game here. Like meds and ammos. So we're making a save because there are flamethrowers, because we love flamethrowers. And we go to the water levels, so we're gonna have a much more interesting levels here, which is Tibetan foothills. So we found the Seraph, which is an item you will need in Bakhang Monastery to open something. I know we need to go in the Bakhang Monastery, but I think in the plot Lara is supposed to do it to go to it on plane, but the plane crashed for whatever reason. Don't remember why.
Yeah, she can't really fly a plane, I guess, but she can, like, I don't know what happens. I don't even remember. I think she just runs out of fuel or something generic like that, and she ends up crashing. It's been a while since I've watched that cinematic, now that I think about it. I need to study up for the next marathon. Kappa.
So yeah, this level is Tibetan foothills, and we're gonna use Red Skidoo, which is iconic vehicle of Tomb Raider 2. And which is really great for speedruns. That's a joke, by the way.
It's actually kind of funny if you look into the level files of this game. They actually named this level Skidoo. So, they really, really like the snowmobile. They're very proud of it.
So this level is actually, this vehicle is actually not too bad to handle. The only problem is that if you fall from too high, you will die and explode. And that can happen pretty much anywhere, because the level is made this way. You can do level 1000 of time, and the one time you can explode in a place where you never exploded before. So that's how it goes, so that's why you're gonna have to be careful. Except that it's a good vehicle.
Except for all the bad things, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
And yes, as Fireman's pointing out, Lara has strange choices in outfits. We don't understand it. Tom plot.
So here we're gonna do this cool jump, which saves 7 seconds and is incredibly hard to pull off when you start.
Yeah, that jump, man. Thought about it.
I know you don't like it.
Well, you know. I don't know, I had something to say, but I lost it. It's still too early for me, man. But anyway, sick half pipe back there. It's really cool.
Yeah. Oops. So yeah, you're supposed to use a key here to trigger a bridge to go do that jump and trigger the flip map, but we're gonna do it by feet because it's faster, because the key is pretty far. And we don't have time to waste. Wait, yeah, go ahead.
So I was just gonna say, you said the buzzword flip map, and I was gonna quickly explain what that means.
Yeah, go ahead.
So some of the rooms in this game, I guess I'm gonna try and not get too technical with this, but they have two different versions of a room basically, and you can trigger the other one with by triggering a flip map for the room, which so you revisit this room, but the only difference is that the flip map is on, I think. Can't remember if it's on or off by default, but either way, we toggle it, and then now the room's different. So yeah, basically just it's the same room, but with a trigger to make it different the next time you phase it up. That's, I think, a fair layman's definition of flip map.
So don't do all those jumps here when you start because that's you won't get them.
For some reason, I started shaking my head in real life, yeah, you don't want to do that. But then I realized, oh, I'm on mic here. I can't express how much I agree with that by shaking my head.
So the purpose of a level is to get the key to this cabin. Because in this cabin we can open the door that will allow us to go to the next area. So we basically do a big backtrack, and but we have to in Glitchless. There is no way to avoid it, even in Glitch actually. So this is one of the only level which is not broken in Glitchless. In Glitch. Oops! Wow, that's gonna be bad here.
Yeah. So there's a certain timing that you want to make your way out of this hut, because once you pull that lever, the mercenaries spawn and they start heading toward the hut. So there's a nice timing if you have everything go as planned, but if you stumble a couple times...
And actually, I completely forgot that I had to take UZ. Because usually you don't take UZ for my roads.
When the safety strat comes back to haunt you. Fun thing about the snowmobiles, you didn't see it right there, but basically, if anything comes into contact with you, they instantly die. So if the bird had just raised Lara there, the tiniest part of her hitbox, it would have just fallen. The snowmobile's pretty magical like that. It just, everything in its path just goes down immediately. Except for other snowmobiles.
That's pretty weird RNG.
Yeah. What is this? Marathon luck, dude.
And yeah, we didn't mention, but there are two kinds of skidoos. There's a red one where you can have a boost but no guns, and black ones that shoot but can't have a boost. So I did this little maneuver here to avoid a trigger. It triggers 3 guys. So it's pretty good because those guys really are a pain to deal with.
Yeah, and there's the third one is an annoying one that snipes you from this cave here as you try to exit the level. So he just drains your health as you try to leave the level. It's very rude. So we're happy to skip.
And we are in Bakhang Monastery, the longest level of a game.
But Mikhail's favorite nonetheless.
Exactly, so that's even better.
No, honestly though, speaking, seriously, this is actually one of the, I think, most well-designed levels, in terms of the theme and everything.
Yeah, it has an atmosphere, it's pretty big, it's hard to find a flaw in this level, to be honest.
That is the biggest criticism of it, is just, oh man, it's so confusing, it is not linear. you don't. Maybe it was just me, but like when I played through it, I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to be doing. I was just going around grabbing things.
Yeah, I think that's the purpose of a level, actually.
Yeah, that is true. Like, the problem is like the thing you need to do, unless you go into a particular. Well, I'll just say it. You need to collect 5 prayer wheels. You need to collect 5 prayer wheels, put them in these slots, and open the last door. But you don't know that when you go into the level, and so if you go all the wrong ways, you won't know that that's your objective. So it can be pretty brutal on your first playthrough if you don't happen to see that that's what you're supposed to do. Oh man, this is another level where we've mentioned like some levels which are deceptively hard to optimize and ones which are easy to optimize, and this is just everything. This has everything.
Yeah. Especially because it's long, so...
Yeah. Goodness, my apologies for the yawn, but yes, it has just about everything you could want. Lots of movement, lots of technical movement, and then lots of like tiny little shortcuts you can make, and we're trying to still figure out which ones are the most optimal. So, yeah.
There is also 2 R jumps, the one at the start that I reloaded, and the one later in the roof. So this is also pretty hard.
Yeah, this is quite the run killer for, especially someone who's like kind of just getting into like this category. I've seen a lot of people struggle with this level, just because I don't know. It's like one of those things where normally you don't really want to save, but man, it's such a long level. If you don't save, you just lose so much time. Well, luckily we'll be saving here, so don't worry about that.
It's also a bit RNG because those dudes here. Well, not this one, but the one on the roof, for example, can win against monks. Because we didn't mention yet, because there are monks in this level that are not enemies, that are our friends unless we shoot them. And they fight battle guys for us, so that's really nice. But unfortunately they can lose, and if they lose, we have to kill battle guys by ourselves.
Yeah, and I don't think you mentioned it just now, but so the way they kind of scripted that sort of, monk versus the bad guys thing, they actually they purposely made one of the mercenary guys unable to do any damage to the monks so that the fights are a little more fair. So if you get just the right luck and the monks kill the guy who can damage them first, they'll always win. But if they go after the guy who does not do damage to them, and they just kind of waste their time trying to take him out, then they almost always lose the fight, because the other guy's just going to sit there and spray while they're killing the guy who's ineffective. So, yeah, hopefully we don't have to explain that anymore. Hopefully it all goes well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a thing that can happen, and that's a fun fact if you didn't know it, that one of the enemies is scripted to not be able to damage the monks at all.
Yeah, I think it's because they realized that usually guys were too strong for monks, so they just say, okay, we're gonna nerf.
Yeah, the gangsta Uzi guys are just too OP in general.
If they could deal damage, monks would lose every fight, to be honest.
Yeah, easy. I recognize him, the gangsta Uzi guy. Yeah, you'll see it.
There are the guys that drains your health really fast, anyway. So you can imagine what it does on a monk.
Poor guy. They just want to study their scripts, man. And here we are raiding their monastery and bringing all the bad guys with us.
Okay, so I think, yeah, that's good. Uzis are not under the table. There is a thing in this level, it's that here I can pick up the Uzis, but sometimes the guy will drop the Uzis on the table on my right here, and if I do, there is no way I can get them, so I would have to do the rest of the level without Uzis. Which is fairly fine when you do the other road, but for this road I need them.
Yeah, and just playing off what you said, it is I don't know what you would call it, a feature, I guess, where the enemies can completely ignore some geometry, like tables and other sort of
slopes.
not yeah, slopes as well. Like if there's normally a slope that Lara would slide down and it would be untraversable, they can just walk right up, no problem. It's pretty entertaining to watch, but also very frustrating if they happen to drop. So like if you kill them when they're on such a square or a slope where there's something that you can't get to, it's very frustrating because then you can't get the pickup. But anyway.
Oh yeah, truthful, you're right. So there is a place in the big corridor that where I didn't jump at all. The reason is if I jump, I hit my head against the paper things on the ceiling and I stumble. So that's the only place where it's better to walk instead of running.
Yeah, those sorts of paper things, I guess, are kind of like just general geometry things, like tables and lamps and stuff like that, and anything like that you're not able to go through, basically. With almost no exceptions.
I don't think I will meet any other paper things, so I can't really show you, but it's on the big corridor where I picked up the uses. Yeah, the banners.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually paper, but it looks like it because it's a 2D, like... Yeah.
Don't know what it's called.
It's probably some sort of cloth, but...
So as you could see here, the guys won, so...
Ah, poor monks, they didn't...
Fortunately, it was almost dead, so that's cool. Also, Midget mentioned that there was different geometry for the guys. You could see that the guys instantly glitched up the block when I pushed it.
Hey, what's this monk doing here? Why didn't he...
I think he came from a main hole, so that's why he didn't have to...
Oh, he was running all the way from the... Okay, I was like, why didn't he, like, kill the guy? I was sitting here thinking, he just let him have you. Anyway.
So this is the hardest jump of the game, in my opinion, by far. Probably the most stressful one as well, if you don't save.
Yeah, this is...
So it's the same thing as offshoring almost. You need to grab late. It's not frame perfect. It's 2 or 3 frame window, I think, or something. Yeah, I think it's something like that. And yeah, you also need to get your curve right, and you need to also get your position and the lineup right. So you need to have everything perfect here.
There's a ton of Pokemon emotes on Twitch.
Yeah.
There really is. A lot of them are free as well. We are back! Fantastic!
So we're back then.
Yeah, we can start, continue the run, and I start the timer again.
Awesome.
So we're back, so you can restart the timer like that. So didn't miss a lot, just climb a ladder climbing. Climb a ladder. So the next part is also a part where you start checking, because if you don't save here, this is also a run killer, because you can lose a ton of health and be in flame or things like that. If you don't get the timing right.
Yeah, this gauntlet room is absolutely terrifying when you want to do a really good run. And the thing is, you think like, oh, you just did the hardest jump in the game, you know, easy mode from here on out. Nah, nah. No, no, no.
I think we pick up a 4th one here. Yeah, it's a 4th one. we just have one more. We should be good.
Well, yeah, we got another problem. Apparently, the timer decided to say, fuck it, and reset. So, about where do you think you are? Alright, run.
What is it?
What time do we think we are in terms of the timer?
9. I would say 109.30. Yeah, 109.30 because I backtrack it for 20 seconds when the timer stopped. So yeah, 109.30.
Wait, it's back.
20. Okay, cool. Okay, so this last one is actually pretty easy to get. There is almost nothing left to do in this level. And once you are in a run, you start thinking that you're going somewhere. Because the next levels are pretty okay. Until floating islands, obviously.
Sorry, I'm still getting my wits together after the, I guess the reset, kind of. So, yeah, where are we? we're getting the last prayer wheel, right?
Yep, exactly.
Sweet. So, how long is this level? Like 14.5 minutes or something like that?
My goal is 14-15.
Yeah, so maybe around like 14.5, 15 on like a good or bad run, I guess, but yeah. I think even with the slight outage there, you still got to see that this level has, although there's a lot of kind of just, I guess, quote, simple traveling, there's a lot of also really cool skips and time saves in it. I kind of agree that this is one of the better levels of the run. Not the best level, I don't go that far, but I would say this is one of the better levels of the run, even though it is quite long. It doesn't feel stale at any point.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention, but basically the pool was empty earlier because I did the risky jump on the roof. If you don't do this jump, you will come back and hit a trigger that fills the pool, and you will have to go in another room to empty the pool, which takes 40 seconds or something, plus the backtrack.
Yeah. This level is the most extreme example of the difference between glitchless and glitched, by the way. I forget exactly, you would know better than me how long the glitch takes, Makio.
3:30, roughly.
Yeah, so like 3.5 minutes versus, you know, this is about a 14.5 minute level on a good day. So
The reason is you just need one prayer wheel to finish the level in glitch.
yeah, we don't talk about that dirty glitch here.
This is a good marathon. Let's not talk about glitch. You're better at that. Okay, we're done. So that's why we needed the Seraph in the water level, because we needed to open that door.
Yeah, I could not put my tongue on it earlier, but that was the artifact that Marco and his gang were looking for as well. They wanted the Seraph to get into this whole area that we're in now.
Basically, Tomb Raider is just a logic item quest. So now we get in, we have to take the Talion, which is in 2 levels, to open the door in Xi'an, where the first level was.
Yeah, we'll come full circle and be back in China. For now, we're still in Tibet, I guess. We're under some monastery in Tibet, so yeah.
This level is actually pretty easy, but it's a bit RNG depending how many meds you will use. There are 2 jumps and basically it's it. Ooh, I almost got the leopard troll. If I got unlucky, this leopard could have pushed me in the... and I would die from full damage. And yeah, that's like the first time ever this door is open in the monastery and the Bartolidus are already in there, so I don't know how they got in, but they get in. So I'm doing all those things here to skip 2 leopards triggers. You would have 6 leopard here if I didn't do that little maneuver. Save a bit on ammo and it's faster.
Snow leopards might be cute, but they're not exactly nice.
No.
So, don't call PETA, but we had to do it.
Okay, cool. We're gonna have a cool trick incoming, which is called Yeti Push, which is one of my favorite tricks of a game.
Yeah, funny enough, although we're sitting here talking about all these optimizations we found, neither of us found this one.
No, Appel did.
Yeah, our Lord and Savior Appel found this. I'm joking, he's like a veteran, like well-revered member of the Tomb Raider community. He was messing around for like a day looking for a glitchless strat and found this. We're like, are you serious, dude? Because it's an amazing time save and also saves health on a good day, so...
So I will let you explain it while I try to do it.
Yeah, so there's a certain timing you can exploit between when you pull the lever and when the door shuts, because you can pull the lever faster than the door animation happens. So, yeah, you exploit that, and as the door is closing, the Yeti pushes you in. That went pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah, they didn't even damage me at the start.
Hey, these guys out here are jerks. There's like, yeah, 3 gunmen out here, and we can't be bothered to kill them because that takes too much time. So they just get to drain our health twice. It's shooting practice for them.
Okay.
Hopefully they miss a lot.
Yeah. So this jump skips quite a good part of the level, part where you have to swim, climb ladders and things like that. Looks pretty hard, but it's actually not too complicated. I find this jump here a bit harder than actually the actual jump, so...
Yeah, these, Sorry, I'm a little delayed, so I thought for a second you had missed that, but these jumps are a little, some of them have an arbitrary, not arbitrary, like there's definitely a timing to it, but it's not easy to figure out when you're supposed to curve. So you'll start off doing a straight jump, but sometime in midair you start curving. So that's kind of the tricky part about some of these jumps that we're saying is, if we're calling them really difficult, it's usually because the timing of when you curve is arbitrary, kind of. You have to just know it by feel. There's not like a reference or anything that we have.
And this is Ice Palace now, so Ice Palace you just need to shoot a couple of bells and fight a boss. So don't try what I'm doing when you start doing casual things, because that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to pull levers and activate a platform, I think.
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
Yeah, no, you had that right. That's exactly how it goes, but of course we just skip a lot. So the last level's name was Catacombs of the Italian, and then we're actually going to, at the end of this level, as Mikio mentioned, there's a boss that's the Italian Guardian. That's your fun fact for the level. We really just call him the Big Chicken, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes in more explicit language than that, but you know, we're good people, I swear. We just call the chicken bad names sometimes.
And Italians ravioli. We are pretty good people, I swear.
Yeah, don't mind identity.
We love giving dumb names to things, like Glitchless Glitch, ravioli, things like that.
Oh gosh, yeah, thank goodness we're
Skyfish.
not doing a glitch run, because then we'd have to explain glitchless glitch, and that's a nightmare. It's a glitch, by the way. We're just doing glitchless here. Don't worry about it. We're doing it this way.
So we need to pick up that gong even though we won't use it because it triggers the opening of a door in a couple of seconds. So we can go through it, obviously. Up. Got lucky here.
The most... I was really scared back with the Yeti section because the worst thing that can happen is they push you to the left and you get killed by the icicles up above, but
And I didn't
luckily...
see
Yeah, all is good. All is good. There's normally some really interesting camera cuts when you run away from those boulders there, but luckily, as Mikio alluded to at the very beginning of the run, if you use your guns, it cancels out camera views, so... Luckily, we never saw those really weird camera angles and we were able to proceed
That camera is
normally.
horrible. It's just...
Yeah,
It's meant to make you die.
honestly.
It's supposed to show you the boulders, but you can't even see Lara, so... Well, you can see her, but it's just... It's like, where am I going?
Yeah, good luck.
So I think I have enough ammo, yeah. So 149, I need to do some math right now. Okay. So I need to count my bullets here if I want to get an extra med.
I'll wait to talk about it until after so I don't miss your counts.
It's okay, it's good, you can talk.
Well, basically this guy takes a total of 67 M16 bullets to kill on New Game, which is what we're running. There is a New Game Plus, but we don't really... That's not the most popular thing, but anyway. With New Game, he takes 67 bullets, so Mickey was doing the quick math there to figure out at what bullet count he needed to stop shooting so he can go get that med. Because there is a timer as soon as you kill that big chicken. Once you kill him, you can't grab the med after a certain point because he'll just die too quick, so... Yeah, now we're back in China, as promised.
So there's a cutscene, but we skipped it, where Lara comes back to the Great Wall and opens this door that we saw at the start at the end of the first level. And we fall down because you're supposed to, because there is a trap just before getting the dagger, and we have to get back up. Fortunately, we can skip the whole level with a jump I just did, which is a precise curve jump. There is a faster way to do it, but I didn't learn it yet, so...
Yeah, this is another notorious run kill by that jump.
Yeah. There is a good setup for it, so it's fine, but...
Yeah, luckily the setup, as long as you just go through the motions, it'll work 100% of the time, but it's one of those things where you're shaky and, yeah, you might not get it right just because you're a bit shaky.
Especially that you know that the next level is going to be an even bigger run killer, so you're like preparing yourself.
Yeah. Honestly.
So once you did that jump, this level is actually pretty easy.
Yeah, I was gonna start talking about the next level, but I think I'll let it present itself to anyone who doesn't know it.
Yeah.
It's quite an interesting level. But for now, we just skipped about, what, 3/4 of this level, by the way, with that curve jump earlier?
Even more, actually, I would say.
Yeah, this is... Gosh, I don't even want to try and actually guess how much this would be if we did the level properly, like a 20-minute level, probably?
Yeah, 20 minutes, something like that, yeah. Maybe 17th.
Yeah, this is just... It's a really impressive level, but, oh man, it is just all bird and then away because it's so long. But luckily, skipped like 3/4 of it or whatever, and we're at the ending section, which luckily does not require any items from the first section, so we're good.
True, yeah, that would be awful.
Yeah, if luckily the devs made it just barely doable. Oh yeah, that's right. Jay's mentioning there's a spider cave that we... Yeah, no one likes that. That spider cave is a no-no.
So this level is a choke. This is where you will choke the most when you start running. Because you can basically die every square you do. It's just...
Yeah, that tomato soup down there is actually supposed to be lava, by the way. I don't know if you got that, but it's it is an insta-kill as soon as you touch it in any way. So, yeah.
So we did that small maneuver here to avoid some ladder climbing. Doesn't save too much, but it's pretty easy.
And as a general gameplay note, you saw that Makio there was able to move through the spikes. That is a feature of the game. You can move, like walk and run along spikes, but you can't jump onto them in any way.
Running
that is
will
an insta-kill.
damage you as well.
Right. You will take a lot of health damage. Unless you're specifically using the safe walk, which is just the walk button, you will take damage, but that was just a general gameplay mechanic to note in case you were wondering what was going on there. You may remember falling onto spikes and killing Laura several times in your childhood or whenever you played this game. I don't know. But, yeah.
So this level is a lot of ladder climbing, because they put a lot of ladders at the end of this level, but I can assure you that this level is not only ladder climbing. Just skip the rest. So, floating island, that's gonna be fun.
Well, you said it was your second favorite level, so you're ecstatic.
It's always stressful. If you do it right, it's just beautiful, but it's so easy to just being bad at it. So first of all, we need to go to the right a bit, because we want to skip a trigger for a guy, which are the jet guys, so yeah, I will let you tell some stuff about the plot right now, because I'm not sure where we got there.
Yes, so at the end of the last level there's supposed to be a cutscene where Marco Bartoli and his henchmen do in fact make it to the dagger that we just failed to at the beginning of that last level. We dropped down the trapdoor, but they don't for some reason. And Marco goes through this sacrificial ritual where he stabs himself with the dagger. And then they started carrying him into this level, and somehow between the point of them carrying him in and us entering the level, which is like just a few seconds, he's nowhere in sight and we have to go find him. Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't mention, but the legend said in this game that if you stab yourself with this dagger, you can become a dragon.
Right, yeah. Become the world ruler, the dragon and all that stuff.
Okay, so it looks like an awful RNG right now.
Ooh, yeah, that's... Yikes.
This is a huge run killer here, because the jump is hard, but also the RNG is awful. Because those guys' hitbox is just so huge. Oops. So this is one of the only jump of a game I save in the normal run, because the RNG is so hard and so annoying.
And you know, the funny thing is, if you wanted to do a somewhat safe strat, it wouldn't really lose that much time. But
yeah, 10-15 seconds.
But of course, we can't lose that time. We gotta take that super hard RNG jump instead.
We like that. Yeah, this level is a big RNG thing because you need to manage your health really well to optimize it. And I will mention when we get to a super RNG point.
Yeah, in case, I don't know, this is somewhat relevant, I guess. The green blobby material is meant to be jade, since this is still, you know, of Chinese culture and everything that we're dealing with, so it's not just random green slime, it's supposed to be jade.
Oops. So yeah, in this level the enemies are really tanky, so your choice is either to just kill them, but you need a lot of ammo and it takes time, or you can just avoid them all and pray they don't hit you.
Guess which one we do.
Yeah. We're gonna do safe one here, but in an actual run you won't kill anything in this level.
Yeah.
So except the big jump is going pretty okay so far.
For sure. I don't know, I find it hard to say anything remarkable about this level because this whole level is just what on earth is going on.
You kind of feel the stress with me.
Yeah, also that, but like here in this water room there's like overhead fire. I don't know what's going on, guys.
Yeah, this is kind of mystic level, I guess. They like to do that in Tomb Raider.
Yeah, that is kind of a running theme. At least the first 3 games have some outrageous levels that are just like, where did they come up with this? And of course in this game it's this little floating island where it's just, oh, what on earth were they on when they made this level?
It's like the big old joke where Dev smokes weeds or whatever doing this level.
That's the only color they saw, obviously. They made the whole level green.
Okay, how many
Just think
minutes
about
do I
that kush
have?
kush.
Okay, I have 5 large, so it's definitely not enough to do the big strats, but enough to finish the level. So, in a normal run, what I would do is I wouldn't kill anyone in that room. And you will need a ton and a ton of meds to do that.
It makes the run so much harder. Thank goodness you're not doing that in this marathon scenario.
It's just full RNG.
Yeah, it's yeah.
It's a 30 seconds, so it's pretty much worth, but it's so late in the run, that's, yeah, it's really risky.
You might not have caught it because Mako did it so well, but the M16 has really, I guess, strange shooting mechanics where if you interrupt the kind of movement that you're doing at any given time, it causes the gun to stop firing, but as you may have noticed, Mako was doing a constant backstep throughout the fights there, so it actually didn't interrupt the shooting of the gun, but yeah, the M16 has some really weird shooting mechanics. But because it was executed so well, you probably didn't take note of it.
Okay, I forgot to do something. Completely forgot to do something.
Oh.
You know what I forgot?
Yeah,
Okay,
as soon
fine.
as I saw it, I knew. Hey.
Actually, I need to do it another way. Forgot to pull a lever in the previous room that opens this door. Oops, that's not how you're supposed to do it.
Now we're just making it entertaining, don't worry.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
all under control. Premeditated, by the way.
Exactly. Okay, whatever, I will do that way. Which one did I forget? The first one, I guess? Yeah, I forgot this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. You needed to, if we could have had Yakety Sax playing there during that whole time trying to go into the funnel, that would have been great. Someone, like, do that. If you don't know the name of that, or if you don't know the song by name, well, you definitely heard it on some dumb YouTube video before. But, anyway.
Okay, we're just gonna save. Hoping I have enough meds, else I will have to kill. Oops. That's what I thought. Okay, good save at least. Okay, I'm gonna do something. Yes, I will have to.
Oh, lordy. I just now saw that though.
Okay, I will do the same strat. So you can make those guys go away doing that, because you are out of reach.
Yeah, that's a... There's certain AI, I don't know if you'd call them behaviors, because sometimes they're inconsistent, but there's tendencies that the AI has, and yeah, that's one of them. If you're able to hit them, but they're unable to reach you, they will generally run away.
So yeah, that was the only major fail, I guess, of this one. Except the crashing.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I think it's been a pretty smooth run.
Okay. How many minutes do I have? 3? Okay. More than enough.
That's very nice. So yeah, this is
Oops.
I guess it's meant to be the final level, but there's an epilogue level after this. So it's technically the second to last level, but it's the last, like, adventure level of the game, I guess. Dragon's Lair. Hopefully that name doesn't spoil.
Not at all. Oops. So this level is way harder than it looks in an actual run, because you don't know how many meds you have at this point.
Yeah, the issue with these guys is that the hits happen so fast. It's not so much like, do I have meds, it's like, will I be able to hit the button in time before, like, suddenly my health is all gone.
So it's especially true when you climb the ladder in the previous level, in the last ladder, because there are 5 guys coming to you, so they can just insta-kill you and you can't do anything about that.
It's tragic, honestly, when that happens. Anyway, super awesome, definitely legit boss fight here.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that boss fight, because this is exciting.
Yeah, normally he stomps around, breathes fire on you, but there's a nice exploit. Glitchless? Yes. But cheap? Yes. You gotta do the real fight, right? Nah, we don't do that. So anyway, yeah, that was Marco Bartoli. He's gone now. So our adventure is over, question mark.
No, because there is a fan service level.
The fan.
So yeah, we got our dagger, so we come back home, but because Marco Bartoli is dead and his guys were loyal, they are coming back to us to kill us. So we're gonna have to clean up a bit. So it's basically a shooter. We just have a route with optimized enemies' positions and also making the RNG pretty consistent. There's just one dog that can be an issue. If he just decided to go away. You just have to look for him, and it can take several moments. I mean, can go from a couple of seconds, can come back immediately, or you can just wait 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's such a, I don't know, I don't know, I can't figure out the word I'm trying to say here, but it's an annoying thing because if you do the run so well and you've had a good run, and then you just get trolled by this dog for like 3 minutes on the last level, and you're just sitting there in agony, it's terrible. But luckily, it doesn't really matter in this scenario.
Yeah.
So we don't have to stress about it.
So that was that dog I just killed. So should
Yeah,
be alright.
actually, that was perfect. It was like right there. Why does this happen in an actual run? I don't understand.
What is this dog doing here?
I don't think you actually caught a glimpse of it earlier, but when we were in the level Opera House quite a while ago, the very last room of the level, you may have seen that sort of mini-boss. Anyway, the only reason I'm mentioning that is because he's coming back here. I think officially his name is supposed to be Colt, according to like some obscure publication, but most people just call it like the boss or Dolphin Man or Opera Guy. There's a bunch of different names people can use.
And that's it. That was the final boss. Really good. And time is coming soon.
Don't you think you've seen enough?
And time. So that should be around 141 or something.
You
GG's,
are
very good run.
awfully close. 141.02.
Okay, yeah, not too bad. Considering what happened in Floating Islands.
Do you know, I think your IGT is going to be messed up from where we were waiting for a bit there, but
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, like, don't really worry about that too much. I was just thinking, like, oh, if you didn't happen to see that stat screen, it might be a little confusing.
So yeah, that was Tomb Raider 2 Glitchless. I hope you enjoyed. And thank you, Midget, for being with me for this commentary. That was really cool.
Glad you had me. Thanks for inviting me. Wow, I totally said that wrong. Amazing.
Okay then. So,
You can come back
go
to
watch
sleep.
NGA, and we are totally professional, all of us. So yeah, that was Tomb Raider 2.